Absolute Fighting Championship number 3. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Cruz along with Greg Friedman. We are ringside here in Tel Aviv, Israel. Greg, we have an unbelievable tournament and we have some familiar faces coming back.
Yeah, we really do. Everybody in this tournament, other than a few of the Russians, have all been in this style of fighting in Brazil, in Russia, and now in Israel.
Of course, there are the laws of this sport, not very many. We will expect a full house eventually of about 6,000 people tonight. There are the ways to win, and we have seen every one of those ways come into play. Set up our quarterfinal.
Nick Nutter, Joe Charles, Zane Frazier, 3 Americans. There'll be 5 Russians against 3 Americans.
All right, our first fight, Nick Nutter, a wrestler from the United States, against Maxim Tarasov, a judo man. And there's our promoter, Federico Lapenda of Rio Sports, and we just arrived. So this has not been an easy trip. Literally got off the plane, got in a bus, and we came over here. Nick Nutter was ill on the aircraft. It'll be interesting to see if he has any gas left in his tank.
Yeah, he said that he feels okay. He definitely wanted to fight. He was really excited about this tournament. But as you said, we'll see if that jet lag has any effect on him.
Again, you know, just getting here, literally getting here within the last hour and a half or so. And there is the taller, lankier Russian who we saw about 6 months ago in Moscow fight, and very impressive, Maxim Tarasov, Nutter and Tarasov.
Yeah, judo. He's also a Muay Thai fighter, that being Tarasov. The American wrestler misses a shoot. Wow, I've never seen that before. He's a great freestyle wrestler in Nick Nutter, All-American wrestler that comes in with here with big credentials, looks a little heavy, but he's expected to do very well in this tournament.
By the way, Israel has, oh, there's a nice shoot there, tries a single leg takedown. Nutter gets his man down. Tarasov now on the bottom, Nutter on top as he tries to work his way to a cross mount, a side mount. But look at the Russian.
Trying to go for the triangle choke. You can see he's got that leg up and around. He'll try and keep that arm in and get that leg around his head. It's the only way you can control a freestyle wrestler like Nick Nutter. Nick Nutter, of course, training with names like Mark Coleman. He comes in here with some very impressive credentials.
Nutter now with the left hand. It'll be interesting, as a wrestler, you always question, what can they do to get a man to submit? How are their striking skills? And right now, Nutter seems to have pretty good striking skills.
Yeah, he's able to move up. You can see him slipping up on Tarasov. He'll try and put him in the corner as we see him pushing him over there. He told us he was going to do that. He's going to get him in the corner, get him on their back, and hammer. That's how he fights. That's how he told us he was going to fight, and he's not going to change his style.
Federico Lapenda, our promoter, now also in the corner of Nick Nutter.
Yeah, really trying to support the people that he brought over here. There's some great American fighters. They want to win this tournament.
America trying to be a real presence in this type of fighting, no-holds fighting, and they have made great inroads with people like Nick Nutter.
Yeah, the American freestyle wrestlers are clearly the best American fighters in no-holds bar. They've got the size, they've got the strength. Now they're getting the experience. Again, one less American than there is Russians, but I expect the Americans to do very well.
All right, well, we are in Tel Aviv, Israel for Absolute Fighting Championship number 3. I'm Gary Cruz along with Greg Friedman. Matter of fact, here in Israel, they have a huge Russian presence, the people here. A lot of people have migrated from Russia to Israel. Thus, they are holding this fight, and I got to believe the Russians will be big favorites of this Israeli crowd.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people, exactly as you said here. Most of the people in the venue here tonight are Russian. We hear everybody everywhere we've went so far speaking Russian, not Hebrew, which was kind of a shock to us. But they've been very friendly, very hospitable thus far, and I expect a great show to continue.
Well, I'll tell you what, you could just feel and hear those blows to the side by Nick Nutter. A nice elbow to the back of the head by Tarasov. Beautiful work that time, but Nutter, man, you saw some heavy blows. Oh, a great right hand, chopping right hand to the ear of Nutter as Nutter works his way up, taking some pretty severe punishment, but doesn't seem to be discouraged at all.
Yeah, he's always able to control his opponents. Can he take the onslaught of punches and elbows and knees if Tarasov's able to get him off? Tarasov, clearly the more experienced of the two fighters in no holds bar. Nick Nutter just sticking with his American freestyle wrestling, which is get you down and hammer. And he's doing a good job of it so far.
He is really softening up the left side, actually the right side of Tarasov's body with those shots with his left hand. Great strikes to the rib cage.
Yeah, very exposed are those ribs of Tarasov. And Tarasov being a very thin guy, not a lot of meat to cover those. Those are going to start to pay dividends if he continues with those.
Interesting fact I learned here, 1/5 of the population of Israel is Russian.
Yeah, or let's say many Israelis have Russian descent, and people are coming over from all over the world actually to Israel. It's still, you can see quite the change that has been in Israel over the last 5 years with the Ethiopian Jews and the Russian Jews. It's really
huge right hand by Nick Nutter.
Big right hands. Tarasov felt those, had to pull his opponent tight. You can see he wants to think about that a minute. He's keeping Nick Nutter very close to him right now.
Oh, Nutter just comes across another right hand, and you can see the right eye is taking a beating. It's starting to really swell badly on Tarasov.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this Tarasov can take. I mean, he's been in there with the best of them, but he has not been in there against a guy that can control you the way Nick Nutter does.
Again, Nutter coming over here was feeling very ill. He had thrown up several times, so he's got to be somewhat dehydrated, but he's shown no ill effects, no pun intended, of that problem, you know, with the throwing up and the upset stomach coming in. Look at that. Another assault by Nutter as he tries to get a little distance between himself and the Russian, and he's got the distance and a huge left hand.
Big shots there. Tarasov got to be starting to feel those, trying to figure out what he can do to stop and control this guy. Those ill effects are not being noticed thus far on the big man, Nick Nutter.
And there's a nice, just that right, you can see him wince, the Russian winces, and you can just hear those shots, just flushing the rib cage.
You'll see the Russian.
Oh man, a huge fist, right to the chops. And it's over.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Did he tap or we'll have to.
I believe he tapped out.
He was taking some big shots there to the right side of the face. That eye is cut nicely. Nick Nutter just pounding away, fighting just like his trainer, Mark Coleman, which is get your guy on the ground, control him, and just beat him bad.
Maxim Tarasov, boy, you could see when he got up, he was holding his right eye. He just took a good old country beating today.
Yeah, he fought his heart out. He's a very tough guy. He'll be back to fight another day.
Nutter slowly walks out. Again, not feeling very well, but he's got to be feeling better after this performance here in this quarterfinal.
Yeah, you see the Russian try and control Nutter